is a 74 Vega, 331, 327 bored out, 30 over. It makes it 331. It makes 650 horsepower. The car still holds the record. I'm the only one to ever win their very first professional race in Englishtown, New Jersey in 1974. So here we are, 2021. Any record is something, but to have one for that long. And the car I beat in the final was Jack Roush's car, the circle track guy. And it never crashed this car, crashed other cars with tires blown out and oil on the track, and which happens. This is the first car with a strut front end. In fact, on the hood, there's aluminum panels because the strut's stuck out of the hood, and so we just put aluminum plates on it. That became the signature of this car now, is having those plates, and you can see it from a distance. You know what car it is. The car was previously owned by Reggie Jackson, the baseball player, and he sold it at Barrett Jackson in Chicago for $577,000. Yes, it brought a lot of money. Dave Hennessy has it now. He bought it 2 years ago down at Mecum at Florida. He shows it. This is like his first big show, and I brought about 1/10 of all my Wallies and so forth for it. Enough just for this car, but for all the cars. They said they don't have enough room for all my I got a lot of stuff. I saved everything. I saved every time card, every Hall of Fame plaque, every trophy, every jacket. I have brand new jackets. For every decal on this car, I have a jacket in the cellophane, which, yeah, was I thinking memorabilia or down there? No, I just kept it all. I mean, and I gave the scrapbook to Dave when he bought the car. Didn't want to, but you know, you got to give it up. So, but no, he's a good guy, and he was going to race it, and decided not to. I told him I'd come out and get it raceable, and get it down the track for him, then drive it, because he wound up hurting himself with it, and he decided it's a lot of money, so I'm not going to race it. I'm just going to display it, and so he's around here today, so I'll have to get him over. But it's the way they were back then. They don't have two-step and lights telling you when to shift, and this is old school. Old school, you get staged, and you stab the throttle to 10,200 RPM. You got to feel that, and you could easily blow it up or easily come out a couple hundred RPM either way. You'd have junk, and then you shifted at 9,700 RPMs. If I shifted 95, it would bog. It had a very short power band, and I'd hit my face in the steering wheel. So you had to do everything perfect. And the same way it is today, you have to be perfect. Back in the day, in the 70s, York Dragway had reaction timers, which if you got a perfect reaction time on the tree, you got a season pass. I got 4 or 5 of them every week, and they said, you just come for life free. And so it was a good deal. Really, I met a lot of people, and they were family. We traveled the same on the road from race to race. We stayed in the same motels. We ate together. I'm talking Warren Johnson, Bob Glidden, and the whole gang. They used to come to my house where I live now just to get away from the hoopla at Maple Grove, and Warren and Arlene and Kurt, and they're still doing it, but I quit in '79 and started my engine building business, and I've been doing that ever since. I had 128 customers. I would do like 85 motors a year, so that meant 7 days a week. And I got rid of 100 customers now. And I call it semi-retirement. I don't have to do this anymore, but I enjoy it. But my education was Chevrolet. I developed the bow tie cylinder head for Chevrolet in '76. I did all the cylinder head work on this. In '76, when I won all the races, Over the winter, I gained 47 horsepower in the cylinder heads, exhaust ports, intake. We were all running 880s and 153 at the time. When I got done, we went to Phoenix Winter Classic, which is just one trophy here in Arizona. I unloaded at 850s, 159, and everybody's jaw just dropped. Well, I won that race. Jenkins said, well, I'm going to drive the Winter National. So he drove, he number one qualifier, and he red lit the first round. I wasn't happy because I would have won that race too. He said, well, someone took my picture and I left on the flash camera. I'm like, I said, you hired me to drive. I didn't come to you. You came to me. So either I drive or I'm out of here. He said, okay. But he said, I can lose and it's okay with Chevrolet, and you have to win. I said, don't worry, I'll be okay. We went to the Gator Nationals. I was number one qualifier. Won that race. Set a new ET record and a speed record. Next race was Englishtown, New Jersey. Number one qualifier. Reset the ET record and the speed record. Won that race. Next race was Montreal, Canada. Number one qualifier. Won the race. Reset the ET record and the mile an hour record. I won basically 4 national events in a row, and we only had 8 races a year. It ain't like 30 or whatever they run now. So that was quite a deal. And then it came down to the first round of Ontario for the World Finals to be world champion. It was Warren Johnson and me, and he was number one qualifier. I was number 9. I was terrible. We just didn't have the combination, and I won by 1100th. I hole shot. He won a 9-0. I went on 9-11 or something. And it was 11. He should have beat me by 22 foot, but I left the line better. I hole shotted him, and beat him by inches, and that determined me being the '76 world champion. You know, so and he's not happy till this day. There's a lot going on psychologically when you race these cars. I knew I was bad, performance-wise. So I had my crew just sit around the car for the final round. He's nervous as hell. He's checking the length of tension, air pressure. He's a nervous person. I had my guys just sit around like they were bored to death. And that worked on him even more, thinking, oh my God, it's the final round. And look at him. They're just laying around like sleeping. And well, I was nervous inside. And we left. He never let go of the line lock button and smoked the front tires all the way through first and second gear. And he said, oh, we had a malfunction. The malfunction was he never took his finger off the button. But anyway, we're still good friends and everything. But yeah, that's how I won that world championship. Then in '77, I won AHRA, American Hot Rod. I won every round of competition in AHRA. Every race, every qualifying pass, every round, I won every race and won that, which wasn't as hard as the NHRA circuit. NHRA had regional, divisional championship point races. There were 7 of them a year, and I won every round of competition and won every one of them too. I mean, I won a lot. And but yeah, it's good. It's good to come out to these shows, show people, and explain to them how it was back then. Tanner Gray, he's running NASCAR now, but he won the world championship the other year in NHRA. He said, Larry, how was it back then? I said, he's sitting in a $3 million motorhome. He said, we didn't have that. We only got a room that we stayed an hour in the motel. And we jumped the fences in the morning to make our early pass in the morning because they only took 8 cars. And we had 50 cars in the lane, but they only took 8. And if you weren't in the top 8, you didn't get your first run till 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And today they take the whole gang. And he said, oh my God. I said, yeah. I said, we would get up at 4 in the morning, jump the fence. I would get in the car. Another crew member would unlock the door. And as soon as the lock on the gate to open up for the race clicked, pitch black. Boom, boom, boom. Like 15 doors would drop. And the headlights work. We'd get out of the trailer and it would be like a Trans Am race to the staging lanes. Get it in, top 8, Then I leave. I go back to the motel, shower, and brush my teeth, and then come back to the track like 4 hours later for first round. It was different. Today we change motors in the lanes. We never go back to the pits because it would take you would never get another run. So we would pull a motor up into the staging lanes in a wagon, and then pull a cherry picker with us and change the motor and everything in the staging lanes, so we wouldn't lose our spot. It's different, but enjoyable.
If you'd like to help support the channel, then go to ko-fi.com/John Yao Media. And thanks for your support.